we don't often get movies like this as much anymore, and if we do, it tends to be straight to video, straight to streaming, or anything like that. I can't exactly recall if this film was also one of those straight to streaming films, but it is one of those films that I have noticed that we just don't get as often anymore. Normally, it would be a film with a named actor, like Jason Statham. If we get action movies, it would be like a Jason Statham fronted movie or a Liam Neeson fronted movie. That's how they sell those types of movies. Otherwise, they tend to not work anymore. Which is very sad because I am a very big fan of action movies. I love action movies. I love the 80s and 90s action roms. Commando is fantastic. Predator, the first one with Arnold Schwarzenegger, that's an action movie. I love that one. Predator 2 is also pretty fun as well. Die Hard, Die Hard 2, Die Hard 3, Rambo trilogy. All of these films are fantastic. And yeah, they are headed by an action movie star. So technically they're following the same formula, and it works. It does. But I also like it when they pick somebody up who's not necessarily a super big name, but also ends up really working. So well done to John or Josh, Joel Kinnaman, whatever his name is. He was fantastic in Silent Night. And I also am probably going to be in the minority when I say that I absolutely loved the fact that nobody talked in this film. Even though Joel Kinnaman's character is the only one that actually has an injury and can't talk, everybody else doesn't talk either. And I love that was like this artistic choice, this artistic decision in the decision-making process to have everybody just show off their emotions and body language. Those are very powerful tools to sell behavior, to sell intent, to even have an entire movie act itself out without words being spoken. And I think that's a very artistic idea. I very much support that artistic idea. It reminded me a little bit of a movie that I ended up liking that a lot of people didn't. Willy's Wonderland. I love that movie. It's so much fun. Nick Cage doesn't talk. He barely talks at all. And everybody else is yapping. And I remember saying, I don't know if I said it in the actual review or if I said it when I was talking about it, thinking about it, but I thought it would have been better if everybody else was also pretty quiet. You know, we didn't need the side plot with the teenagers. We didn't really need the side plot with any of that. And everybody yipping, yapping, Jack John. We didn't need that. I would have been fine with it just showing a big montage of Nick Cage cleaning this place, and I actually thought that was very satisfying to watch. And then he gets to defeat the animatronics. I like that movie far more than I liked Friday Night at Freddy's, or whatever that movie is called. What else? Silent Night harkens back to an era of filmmaking that John Woo was actually there for. John Woo was actually pretty big in a lot of the names. Face Off was one of my favorite movies of the 90s, action movies. And it also has Nick Cage in it. It was a very fantastic movie. John Woo helmed that. He had some stinkers, but they were also pretty fun stinkers, like Mission Impossible 2. That one was actually pretty fun. I liked that Tom Cruise had long hair. That one, he was looking pretty cool. He looked pretty cool in that. John Woo has been mostly making films over in Asia for the past 20-some years. And so this is his first film in a long time where he has come back to the States to make a movie. And I like that he didn't really have too much dialogue here, because maybe he's not super fluent in the language and he wanted to make a film that was more universal, that was more something that everybody could watch. Anybody could watch this movie, even if they don't understand the English that's speaking on the radio chatter. They could watch a movie like this and pick up what's going on universally. No matter where you are in the world, you could probably watch this movie and figure out what's going on without words needing to be said. And that just goes to show as a testament to how good of an actor a lot of these people are, especially this guy. He really sells you every single intent, every single unspoken word, every single emotion. He sells it on his face, in his actions, in his body language. It is fantastic. I think fans of Asian cinema, Asian movies, Asian action movies, and martial arts films I said fans in the States who are fans of those types of movies could watch this movie and say, this kind of has that same aura about it. It kind of has a similar aura, a similar feel behind it. And that's probably because it has one of the filmmakers of those types of movies over on the other side of the world making those movies, making one over here. So it has that best of both worlds aspect to it that I can really appreciate. I really like this movie. And I think I liked it even better because there was no talking in it. It was very... It was like a challenge for a lot of the actors to sell the emotion. Some of them didn't do it as well as Kinnaman here, but I like that we have ideas that can challenge the actors and give them something to challenge themselves, to show off their skills, to show off their chops, and Kinnaman really sells his ability here in ways that makes him stand out even more so than just being the film's protagonist. He stands out in fantastic ways. He starts the film as just some guy. He's just a father who is running after these gang members because they had just recently shot and killed his son. On accident, because they were shooting at each other, but one of the stray bullets struck his child. He's angry. He's chasing after these cops. He's not thinking correctly. He's not thinking clearly at all. He's seeing red, right? And he charges at these guys, and they shoot him in the throat. He loses his ability to talk afterwards. He survives, but he loses his ability to talk. When he recovers from this injury, we see him in front of a mirror screaming silently. But we could feel that rage. We could feel that anger. This man died inside that day, and he has dedicated the rest of his life to getting revenge for that day. And he's going to give himself a year to get ready. He's a normal guy, and I love that idea, because he starts the film with being a terrible shot. He goes to the gun range, he can't really shoot correctly. He's watching YouTube videos to learn how to CQC. He's watching YouTube videos to learn how to use a knife and all this other stuff, and which is actually something that's actually available on YouTube. You can watch, you could learn CQC, you could teach yourself a lot of these things just by watching YouTube videos. And then he starts working out in his garage. He buys this used Mustang, and he dresses it up to make it bulletproof. He picks up guns off the street just like the gang members do, so they can use their tactics against them. He gives one of the police members a tip of what he plans to do that night, so if they actually plan to do their jobs, they can actually go in and actually take him out for him. But they don't do it. So he goes in, and on the anniversary of his child's death, he actually becomes a crack shot shoot. During that year, his body is jacked up. He's able to do the pull-up bar thing, even though at the start of the movie, at the start of the montage, he couldn't do that. And I like that they show that second act showing him getting ready. That was probably... That might be a little bit of a point of contention for a lot of people, but I really thought that was intentional. That was very important. That was tantamount to showing you this character's journey. If you can't have dialogue, you have to show the journey. And we get to see him move from being just some typical dad to being this badass, who's a self-made badass, basically. And so he goes out there, and of course we can't have him beat John Wick levels of effectiveness. He makes mistakes. He makes a very big mistake in this first person that he captures, and this guy almost gets away, and he gets into this big fight, and he gets stabbed in the knee, and there's a lot of stuff going on. And then there is a lot of stuff that you have to suspend your disbelief, because literally the day or 2 days after that encounter, he's running fine, going up and down stairs after being recently stabbed in the leg. So that might be a point of disbelief for some people, but hey, I could look past it. It was entertaining for me. This movie was very entertaining, and at the end of the film, it does end quite a lot like how a lot of the action dramas of Asian cinema tend to act. The hero ends up dying at the end, but he does end up getting his revenge. He does end up beating the bad guy, and that's how a lot of those films used to end. And if you watch a lot of John Woo's Asian cinema films, you watch the films of his contemporaries over there, I've seen quite a few. I haven't seen them all, obviously. I'd love to see a lot more, but from what I've seen there, it's part of the course. It's a very good hero's journey. He's not this John Wick badass. He's just this typical guy who trained himself up to get revenge for the son that he lost. And they do remind you a lot of the son that he lost, and that might be a little bit of too much, but for the most part, I thought this film worked very well, and I think you should go see it.